Bobby Dahl and what he was doing with PWA?
Well, like I said, I had just met him, and so he was just another guy running shows or whatever. Went down there and worked for him, and shit, man. I worked there the whole time it was open, pretty much. I don't think I've ever missed any significant amount of time there. Would it run like 2.5, 2 years, 3 years, 2?
Almost 3, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, I was there for the duration of PWA, and
The longest running heavyweight champ.
sweet, did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to know Bobby Dahl a little bit, and of course I met a lot of you guys that still my boys this day, and hell, man, I had a great time. PWA was probably the funnest time, in wrestling as far as the locker room. Everybody was a crackhead, I mean, not literally. Everybody was funny, and Jesus, would say some crap that I couldn't even repeat, but it just had me laughing all the time. And after coming from Mid-South and the tense locker room, at first, I was probably a bit standoffish. I don't know how people perceived me.
Well, because PWA was set up as a school.
Yeah, there's a lot of young kids involved.
You actually came in as,
one of the veterans.
one of the veterans.
Yeah, which is weird because there's no way I was considering myself a veteran.
But I mean, that's the way the perception is key at that point.
Yeah.
Probably 60% of the guys on that show, maybe even 70, were students.
Yeah.
And you were brought in to give them somebody good to work.
Well,
so the coin flip it. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's weird because I don't know. I don't really think about that too much unless somebody brings it up to me. But like when I was first coming back from the knee injury, I wrestled I don't know, it was like a 6-man tag or a tag or something. And I don't remember the guy I wrestled, but he was one of Richard Bailey's guys, and I think Tommy ended up hearing Richard Bailey telling his guy, listen to him in the ring, he's a good worker, and just do whatever he tells you. And I was like, holy crap, man. I was just used to getting treated like a green piece of crap, and he kind of put me over there without me knowing about it. I heard about it, and I was like, wow. So to you to say that I was like brought in as a veteran, I was like, I never really thought about that until now. But I mean, when I first got there, I'm used to the whole real strict locker room, everybody's kind of tense and stuff. I mean, not everybody, I mean, Mid-South wasn't that. It's probably just me because I was getting the crap beat out of me every night. So I was probably just tense or whatever, but I don't know. There's a lot of good boys that started in PWA and kept going and still work today. There's a lot of guys, like any school, you see them for a month or a year or never again,
Well, I think that's why it worked, because you had guys who were great workers, guys like, I dare say it, Jerry Reiner.
Oh, hell yeah.
Guys like Bobby Dahl, who wanted to put on good matches, and then you had guys who wanted to learn and just wanted to be able to,
Sure,
be on par with you.
Well, I mean, it's real short, but for a while there, Bobby Dahl had me and Tommy coming in to train his guys, and I don't think we did it for more than a month, but he said, yeah, I'll give you such and such money, and I'll take you out to Denny's every time you come in and train his boys for him. So I don't know, we did it a few times. I thought he did good. I don't think he was as strict, I don't know, but I don't think he was as strict as far as the old school upbringing, and like Mid-South believed in any of their students, they had to be shot on, and so that's kind of the mindset I've always come from. And so maybe that's why I was a bit, I don't know if I was standoffish or what, but a lot of guys running around laughing and stuff, and I'm like, you should be, working on your match, or asking a veteran, for some help or something, not just dicking off in the locker room. But after a lot of the guys that are still around today, became real good friends with.
You were talking about Richard Bailey, who was running shows
in Suncoast Wrestling.
Yeah, in Mobile.
Yeah. And all up and down I-65. I worked for him all up and down.
So you weren't doing just PWA at that time?
Oh, no. I was doing a lot. I was real busy. But I worked a lot for Richard Bailey down there, and I think it was he that was running Austin's. At the same time PWA was going, me and Tommy up in Alternate Reality, we were working over at Austin's in Mobile, and that was really happening in the little Fed for a while. We even, you know, made the cover of their little the sports section of the Mobile Register.
Right, their local.
Their local paper. So that was a big deal, and that was going really good for a while. You know, like every Fed, it eventually fizzles out,
Right.
or somebody gets greedy and quits paying the boys, or you know,
Right.
stuff like that ends up happening. But it was really hot there for a while. I think the owner, one of their little semi-pro teams, was like involved in everything. So.
Yeah, there was actually a field trip that Bobby Dahl orchestrated that he took all of his students from PWA who didn't know any other indie and brought them to watch that show.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember you were surprised seeing us all there. You didn't know about it, and you were just kind of like, you even said, "What are you guys all here to see how other indies work?" Like you knew right out of the gate exactly why everybody was there.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when everybody came, and yeah, I was surprised. But man, I don't know if it's the reason or not. But digress just a little bit. I had heard that one guy, Corey Jackson, had said something like, "I'm glad we don't have to wrestle in a shithole like this," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how long. A month or two later, turns out Corey Jackson's booked in the in that shithole, and has to work none other than Joey Barrett. And
Wow.
if you know who Joey Barrett is, he's like the baddest ass in the South. You know, I mean,
I remember hearing that story.
yeah, and he gave Corey the beat down of a life. I had never seen anybody get beat up so bad.
Wow.
And I mean, it was a country bar and had a wooden dance floor, multiple power bombs.
Oh.
Ribs broke, internal injuries and crap. I mean, the kid had it coming, but
Sure.
I don't know if he had it coming that
Maybe
bad.
not that.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the worst shoot I had seen, or you know, whatever. I've seen worse now, but yeah, that was bad, and I think that's kind of like his karma came back to him, you know, like a bitch, you know.
PWA, you were always a main eventer. Merck started out; he was their champ for a while.
Yeah.
Then I guess there was a falling out with he and Bobby.
Yeah, him and Bobby had a little thing. It was probably over money or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and it eventually put you in the main. You were teaming with guys like Scott Armstrong,
Oh yeah, that was great, man.
Robert Gibson.
Yeah, those heroes growing up, man. I grew up on watching Bill Watts' Mid-South, so to team with and to wrestle against Robert Gibson, man, I just had to bite my tongue to keep from marking out. You know, I know a lot of you guys had probably seen him a lot more than me. I don't know, but you know, I grew up just Mid-South. Anybody involved, you know, I would just go crazy. And Scott Armstrong, same thing. I also watched Continental Wrestling growing up, and Armstrongs, of course, were like the Von Erichs of Alabama or something. But it was to team with Bullet Bob Armstrong, goddamn. You know, that's the Georgia Jawjacker. You know,
Right.
It was a dream come true.
Yeah,
man. PWA did. I met a lot of guys, Marty Jannetty, and made a lot of good contacts.
Yeah, you were on TV every week, defending the belt.
I never really got to see the TV.
Yeah,
so,
it was
you know,
only
I'll take
Pensacola.
your word for it.
Yeah, you were on every week.
Most places I've never seen any of the TV that I've done. You know,
Go back to the apartment at my place and watch some tonight.
sweet. That's what we're gonna do.
TV every week. You